Did you know that America's South has its roots in Jewish history? Or that the actions and character of many of the early Jewish settlers of Georgia continue to impact American history? This is Flames of Freedom, a remarkable story about the Jews who left behind everything they knew and everything they owned in Portugal and Prussia to start a new life in an uncivilized wilderness, the land we now call America. The question is, why? In Flames of Freedom, we pull back the curtain on this mystery by traveling back in time to the brutal Grand Inquisition, inaugurated by the Catholic Church that lasted over 3 centuries. The year was 1497. Jews had just been expelled from Spain 5 years earlier. Many fled to other countries around the Mediterranean. Others converted to Christianity to save their lives and livelihoods. Still others made their way to Portugal after paying a heavy bribe to its monarchy. But their fortunes soon changed when the king arranged for his son to marry the daughter of the Spanish king and queen, Ferdinand and Isabel, on one condition: that there be no more Jews left in Portugal. This presented a bit of a dilemma for the king, as the daughter of Samuel Núñez tells it to her grandson hundreds of years later in 1790.
So he promised all the Jews safe passage out of Portugal if they came to Lisbon. And there they were, 30,000 of them, gathered in a large square, separated from their own children who were being held as hostages in another part of the city. Imagine what that was like when an emissary from the king stood on one of the ramparts, eviscerating all their hopes and dreams.
Silencio! Silencio! Silencio!
Silencio! Silencio! Friends, I have some unfortunate news. The boats requisitioned to take you to England, as our monarch promised, were unexpectedly diverted and, I am sorry to say, unavailable. A great disappointment to us all, including the king.
He gave us his word!
Yes, he did. And he regrets that, but he has no choice but to rid the country of you Jews so his son can marry. That leaves you with limited options. Convert and commit to raising your children as true believers in the Catholic faith, or perish. If you choose the sword, rest assured we will see that your children are placed in good Christian families.
You lying bastards!
Bastards!
My daughter! I must have my daughter!
To the gate! Rush the gate!
30,000 Jews were forced to convert to Catholicism that day. But many continued secretly to practice Judaism in the basements of their homes. The Catholic Church could not tolerate this and began arresting these conversos on charges of heresy and Judaizing. This is the story of Flames of Freedom, as it traces the lives of one such converso family, the Núñezes, through their arrest, torture, and their eventual escape. Diogo and Gracia Núñez were released and allowed to rebuild their lives. But that all changed 20 years later, when they were re-arrested. How will the Núñez family survive? And what do the challenges they faced have to do with the survival of the Georgia colony that would be founded nearly 7 years later? Subscribe now to Flames of Freedom and hear the full story of their courageous quest for religious freedom.